So my mom asked if I could make an omelet, and I go, okay, I'll make you an omelet. And I go downstairs with ham and cheddar and Mexican blend cheese, and I go, is this okay? And she goes, American. Yeah. She wants freaking American cheese in her omelet. Now, I don't like American cheese. I hate the stuff. But if you eat it on like a sandwich or something, that's okay. However, comma, you don't put it in an omelet. It's not meant for an omelet. Omelet's meant for shredded cheese that's delicious and perfect. Not American cheese. Doesn't work that way. But since I'm a good son, I'm gonna do that anyways. I'm gonna make it with American cheese, however much it pains me. And I'm gonna make myself an omelet with real cheese. Yes. Oh, and sorry for like it being late. It's like 12. I literally just slept until I had to wake up, which was like nowish, and I'm like, feels good. I'm still tired though. The past 2 days completely wiped me out. And let's see what I have on Tuesday, because today's Monday, just for you people, because technically it is Tuesday for you. I work from 6:30 to 1 a.m. on Tuesday. Yeah, that's not gonna be fun, but it's all good in the hood. So yeah, I'm gonna make this omelet. I'm gonna make the omelet now. So I'll talk to you guys after all that stuff is done. So my mom's breakfast work, her omelet looked perfect. Mine, on the other hand, well, it turned into scrambled eggs. But that's okay. We will live and we will grow from this. We will not, I don't know, I was trying to be all thick and stuff, but it didn't really work. But yeah, whatever, I have scrambled eggs, big freaking deal. It's still delicious, so I need to add salt and pepper to it because I didn't do that. Oops. But other than that, everything's golden. So now, I'm gonna go do something on the inner tubes. What exactly? I have no idea. But something will indeed happen. So, when I find out, I'll tell you. And more than likely today, I'm just gonna be playing League of Legends a lot, because my friend just got back from college and he got League of Legends, so he's like, let's play, man. And I'm like, okay, dude. So, I think that we are gonna play, and yeah, so sorry, I'm trying to figure what to do with this. Yeah, give me a second. Hey guys, how are you? So one, I know it's dark, I'm sorry, but two, it feels so good to not be wearing Abercrombie crap. Wow. My dad parked this. He's not very good at parking, but can I just say it's like amazing not having to wear the Abercrombie clothing, because right now I'm wearing skinny jeans, I'm wearing a non-plaid shirt, I'm wearing freaking, I'm wearing a beanie, as you can see I'm wearing a beanie, and I'm wearing Vans, and I just feel awesome right now. Like, you truly, like, I don't think you can understand how just amazing I feel right now, but, it's so nice. And while I'm here, I actually want to talk about some stuff that I feel like I want to talk about. So give me just 1 second while I shut up everything. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is, since my brain's a little less fried right now from work, I'm going to actually talk about the stuff that I meant to talk about, but I just completely forgot. Like the fact that the job has reaffirmed my hatred of people. Because I'm sitting there and someone asked, oh hey, because we have a sign up the front saying sale, items up to 50% off on sale or whatever, and everyone comes in like, is everything 50% off? And I'm like, no, it's just certain marked items. And then of course the response is, well, the sign out front says that, and to which I go, yeah, I'm sorry, it doesn't mean everything, it just means the stuff that are marked. And then they kind of look at you nasty like, well then whatever, and they walk off. Well, the worst is when, I'm gonna give you a big list of things. Another one is when someone asks, do you have this in a whatever size, in a large? And you look, you're looking and whatever, and like, oh, I don't think there's a large here. And they go, you don't have any in the back? I'm like, I can check for you, and of course I check, and they don't have any more because they're in the clearance stuff, aka the stuff we're trying to get rid of. And so, and then I'm like, oh, sorry, we don't have any more. What we have is what we have. And they're like, whatever. They're like, fine, okay. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fun. Or the worst. Okay. So I'm just gonna go on a huge tangent here. So there are so many Asians that go to that store, and I'm not being racist right now. This is not a racist thing. This is not anything like that. But it's just pointing out something. So many Asians go to this store, and it's not even funny. And most of them, or like majority of them, speak very little English. I ran into one lady that spoke no English whatsoever. So some of the Asians, they walk in there and, it's a little hard to understand them, but, they're just asking, size, whatever, no problem, I'm like, oh, one more time, oh, okay, I understand you, okay, and then, I fix it, and then there are some of them that, so those are like the normal ones, whatever, but then there was two ladies that came in. They wanted to make a return on a sweatshirt, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, you could do that up at the front. And she was going on to explain, because her son her son said that it was torn up a little bit. And I was like, it was torn up? And of course I'm pretty sure what she's finding as it's torn up and not sewn properly is the style. So I'm like, oh, I think that may just be the style. She pulls it out and she looks, she's like, look, see, it's like torn here. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the style, ma'am. She's like, can I see another one? And I'm like, okay. So I bring one over, and she starts examining that too. She like takes off her glasses and is staring at it up close. She's like pulling threads off and stuff, and I'm like, and she's like, are you sure this one's not torn? I'm like, no, it's supposed to look like that. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, I'm still gonna after like, so she looked at 3 different sweatshirts, and after about 10 minutes of her staring at these sweatshirts and examining them, she finally goes, and all of them look the same. She's like, I'm gonna make a return still though. I'm like, okay. And then she kind of looked at me like, ready to go. I was like, oh, you could do that at the front cash register. She was like, oh, okay, and looked at me like strange, like, you can't do this. I was like, no. And so that was weird. But then the lady that spoke no English whatsoever, she'd be like just sitting there, she'd be like, oh, hi, yeah, and pointing to the dressing room, like, do you need a room? She's like, oh, hi, yeah, and then she would like be standing at the door, like, I'm trying to unlock the door, and she'd be like literally like right here next to the door, and I'm like, and I ask her, I'm like, how many items do you have? She's like, yeah, I'm like, no, items, like 1, 2, 3, she's like, hi, yeah, just pointing there. I'm like, okay, and I open the door, and she goes in with like 30 items, which and you're not supposed to do, but I was just like, whatever, lady. So she walks in there, and then she comes back out, and then like later on I see her, she's like, oh, hi, yeah, and I open the door for her. She's like, no. She's like, no, that. She points to the dressing room. I'm like, really? I'm like, you're not this one? She's like, no, hi, I'm like, okay. So I open the other dressing room for her, and then I'm like, how many items? She's like, oh, hi, yeah. She's like, wanting to go. I'm like, okay. And I just let her in, and then like literally an hour passes. I'm keeping track of I'm keeping track of time fairly well. An hour passes, and she's at the front register just now paying for everything. And I'm like, go home, lady. And then I'm looking at the cash register's face. Her face is just like, she did not know what to do, because neither her nor the lady that she was with, her friend, knew any English. So they're both just like, oh, just like, just doing whatever. She's like, can you press go? Can you press go? And they're just like, oh, hi, yeah, just, like nodding. And she just like, and she actually has to go around the cash register to go to this pad where like you have to press go and enter your PIN and all that stuff, and like press go and do all that stuff for the lady. And then they finally walk out, and I'm like, oh, thank God she's gone. An hour later, she comes back. I'm like, why are you here? Go home. So, it was just a pain. And they were like, and this was not the first time that Asian ladies came back. Like, there was like 2 other, like, couples of Asian, not like couples, but a couple of Asian ladies that like came in there, looked around, and like asked me questions, and like I didn't give them the right answer that they wanted or something. Like, do you have any, hoodies on clear, all these hoodies on sale? I was like, oh no, these hoodies are not on sale, only the ones that are marked, so, only these hoodies over here. And she was like, oh, they have the zipper though. I was like, yeah, they have the zipper, but they're the only ones that are on clearance, or on sale. And she was like, oh, okay. And then like they'd walk out, and they come in like 30 minutes later looking at the same things, and I'm like, what? And like they'd be like, these on sale? I'm like, no, only these are on sale. These are not on sale. Only my things that are marked. And they'd ask different questions every time. And so, of course, I got the question, is everything 50% off? I'm like, no, only things specially marked. They're like, what is marked? I'm like, well, things like this, this is marked, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they'd leave. And then they'd come back. And I was just like, really? Like, Asians are a crazy bunch of shoppers. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing racist, I swear, nothing racist. It's not anything against them. It's just, they're an interesting bunch. There were actually a lot of Mexicans there too. And I got a lot of the really looks, because like they'd come up to me and I'd be like, hi, how are you? And they'd be like, they'd say something in Spanish. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. They'd be like, oh, okay. Then they'd be like, do you have this in speaking English or whatever? I'm like, I'm sorry. And freaking someone else came in there. Some lady came in, just went Spanish, just lots of Spanish. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't speak English. And she went. They always do the, oh, you don't speak Spanish. I'm like, sorry, I don't speak Spanish. But it was just, it was, I don't even know. There were some interesting people that go into shop. And the worst part, the part that I almost cried when I saw this happen. So I have to fold women's too. It's like the clearance section of the women. If you go into an Abercrombie, it's the back section of like the women's or men's or whatever, but women's too. I have to fold that area, make it look nice. So I'm folding it, I'm making it look nice, and I go to the jeans and I fold in the jeans and they look perfect. I go and fold another table because that looks like a mess, and then I turn around, not even 5 minutes later, and all the jeans are completely torn up. Nothing's folded anymore. That's all over the place. I literally wanted to cry and just be like, because I literally just did that and they got destroyed. So I was like, you know what? Fine. So I go and redo that. And then my boss is showing me something. She's like, this is really, you got a lot better at them, but here's a little tip. So she's showing me how to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, that works. And this girl comes over and she just like literally, she saw her folding the stack of jeans that she was gonna get, and she literally just like threw some jeans and grabbed the pair that she in her size. And my boss literally stopped and stood up and just went and just rolled her eyes. And I was like, yeah, that's been happening to me all day. And like that's why at Abercrombie people always come over. Do you need help finding the size that you need? Do you need help finding the size that you need? Because we know how to lift items up so that way everything doesn't get unfolded. Everyone else doesn't. Everyone else just like throw. Oh, here's my size, and they just leave a pile. And it's like, people, this isn't your house. I just folded this for 10 minutes. Why? Oh, yeah, it's definitely interesting, but I hate people. It just reaffirmed my hatred for people, and I just don't like to want to talk to anyone at Abercrombie. Like, and oh my god, people are just rude. If they want something, and you're like, oh no, that's not it, they get rude. Like a guy saw a guy in his, like I'm guessing they were gay, but and they're like, oh, do you have any, where would your flannels be? I'm like, oh, any flannels we would have would be over there or over there, whatever. He's like, what about that one? I was like, that one, it would be with everything else if we have it. I'm not sure we have it. And then he was like, I'm like, it might just be we're out of it, might be, the old stuff. He's like, no, this is new. I was like, okay, well, if I haven't seen it at all, so I think we may be out of that. And he's like, well, how are you out of it? I'm like, I don't know. I can ask if there's some in the back. And he's like, yeah, please do that. I'm like, okay. So then I go to the back, or I go ask someone, like, can you check and see if we have these or whatever? And he's like, no, we don't have any. I'm like, sorry, we don't have any. We're all out of them. And he's like, okay. I'm like, and like he got snippy. He was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, what do you want me to say? We don't have your damn flannel shirt. Sorry, we don't have it. Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't attack it. I didn't hide them away from you. We don't have it. We ran out. They sold out. That's probably, you wanted it, and they're popular. That's why you wanted it. Sorry. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go inside to the dance studio, so I will talk to you guys when I have Abby, because, yeah, okay. No more ranting. People suck. Let's move on.